Welcome to the Denver Auditor's Office Prevailing Wage Department. We protect Denver workers' wages to be sure that they're being paid the amount that they're entitled to under Denver law.
Hello, I'm Rudy Lopez, Prevailing Wage Investigator. To ensure prevailing wage compliance across the board, we ask you to regularly submit your certified payroll information for your employees and contractors. This video will walk you through the steps for submitting your first payroll in LCPtracker. Start by logging into LCPtracker. We showed you how to set up your account and enter employees into LCPtracker in our first video, Getting Started. Make sure you have all the information you'll need to enter payrolls, including your employee register, pay stub, time card, and check stub. We recommend you allow pop-ups in your browser setting. Once you're logged in, click on the first tab labeled Payroll Records, and then click the first box labeled Enter Records. In the first field, enter the last day of the week you are submitting. Select the correct project from the drop-down and choose the employee you plan to enter. We showed you how to add employees in the Getting Started video. You must enter information for each employee's payroll one at a time. You must enter a separate payroll for each classification, even if it's the same employee. Next, you'll click the Add Classifications button. On this screen, you'll choose the construction type and craft. The options in the drop-down will depend on how your project was originally set up in the system. Prevailing Wage Investigators assign the wages and classifications to the project. You'll need to check the box for the correct classification on this page. There could be more than one option if the employee has worked on more than one project or in more than one role. If the correct classification options are already listed on the main record entry, you can skip and add classification steps and select Next. Now you're in the main entry form. If your project is on-call or a master purchase order, you must add a work order. Next, enter the base hourly rate for your employee and the overtime hourly rate. Then, you'll move to the left of the screen and enter the gross employee pay for this project. That's the hourly rate times the hours worked for the week. This includes both regular time and overtime. After that, you'll move down on the page to the daily hours worked. Put in the number of hours worked for each day for this project. You'll get this from your employee's time card. Then you'll add up the total hours worked for both the city project and other projects that the employee worked. This helps us track overtime hours due from city projects. This number goes in the total hours all projects worked box here. In the next section down, you'll calculate the value of the fringes for which you can claim credit. There are two ways you might have to meet your fringe obligations. You might have gotten fringe credit for approved benefits, or you might have paid in rate of lieu of benefits. We'll start by looking at approved benefits credit reporting. There are two ways to enter them. If you entered fringes information in the employee setup, just hit the Calculate Fringes button. If you did not enter it in the setup page, put it in manually in each field by pay stub. If your approved fringe credits are not enough to meet the prevailing wage rate, you'll need to report money paid to the employee. Do this in the section at the top of this page. You enter the hourly rate paid in lieu of fringe in the top section on the right. Then, you may enter the wages paid in lieu of fringes in the same section near the left. If the rate you pay your employees is less than the prevailing wage, your investigator will receive a notice once you submit your payroll. Finally, go down to the last section to fill in the paycheck deductions. The paycheck information is based on the total hours worked on all projects. You'll see it as the net amount on the employee's paycheck. You will enter each deduction as well as the paycheck amount and the date the paycheck was issued. Don't forget to enter the check number. If it's direct deposit, type in DD. Now you can click Save. To enter another employee, click the Yes when the box appears. If that was the last employee, click No. Remember, your payroll still isn't submitted. You must certify it before you are done. To do that, go to the tab number 3 at the top of the page. Select the project and the week end date. Enter the payroll number. The last number you submitted in the particular project should be shown. Then add your name and title. Hit Next. This may take a moment to load. Read through the certification terms. Use your password to e-sign. It's often the same as the password you use to log in. If you've forgotten your e-signature password, you can reset it under the Setup tab. If this is the last payroll of the job, click the Final box and save. The box should pop up with confirmation you can save for your own records. You can also find this by going to the Reports tab at the top and clicking the Certified Payroll box. The CPR report is available anytime there for you to return in the near future. This concludes the steps for submitting employee payroll reports. Thank you for observing prevailing wage standards.